this report is not a lone thing. It's not, did not come out of the blue sky. I mean, 2 weeks ago, there was the Amnesty International report saying exactly the same thing. It's genocide. Other organizations said the same thing. So you will continue to dismiss this, but the facts on the ground
Cite organizations not affiliated with the U.S. government have the right to draw any conclusion based on their analyses that they want to, and they can. And we certainly welcome the work that they do. But on the perspective of the U.S. government, we'll stress again, as I did stress in the scenario of Amnesty International, that this is not a conclusion that we agree with. Jenny, go ahead.
How is the U.S. government making these conclusions, given you have no one on the ground in Gaza?
Jenny, the point that I'm making is a broad one, that the legal standard for genocide is incredibly incredibly large. But you've also heard us say previously, and I just spoke about that in NSM 20, we made the conclusion that it was reasonable to assess that the IDF in certain instances didn't meet its IHL violations. But in the context of genocide, we just disagree with this conclusion. Our belief is that this is a legal standard that is incredibly high, and we get into conversations about things like intentionality or not, and our assessment is that that's just not been the case in this scenario.
Other than the NSM 20 conclusion, have there been any other scenarios or incidents that you've been investigating that you come to a final conclusion on that this was a human rights violation, for example?
We've spent a lot of time up here, Jenny, talking about the deliberative processes that we have.
Has that deliberative process ended in any of the incidents you've been
These are processes that are ongoing, and I don't have any other conclusions to share today.
And then my last question related to this, there is another Foreign Service officer who resigned. He said over inaction over Gaza, the fact that he said that his findings and reports to the department were largely ignored. Do you have any response?
So I'm not familiar with the specific circumstance. I will just say that, someone's decision to work here or not or stay employed, that's ultimately a very personal decision. I will say that from the president on down and the secretary, we welcome and encourage differing points of view, dissenting points of view. We think that the end product is, again, better public policy. This is nothing that you haven't heard me say before. And I will say that when it comes to our policy as it relates to the Middle East, particularly our policy as it relates to the conflict in Gaza, this is something that we continue to be incredibly deliberative about, and we welcome varying points of view on what our aim is. But at the end of the day, I will just say again is that we are working tirelessly to do everything we can to get this ceasefire proposal across the finish line and stop the war and bring all the remaining hostages home.
Sorry, can I just...
Yeah.